Greetings, hello, welcome everyone, welcome to DevChatter. Hopefully you're all having a pretty fantastic day today. I know I am. Today is a Saturday, and while it's cold here, it is pretty nice. We managed to get outside a little bit. So, always nice when you can do that. And, let's see, so, today, I want to start off by letting you all know what we're going to be working on. Today, our plan is to work on our ASP.NET Core website, our DevStreams site that we've been working on. As you know, it is an ASP.NET Core C# website that we are building for the community of developer streamers. We want there to be a place where you can do things like find, for example, who does an ASP.NET Core C# live stream with a React.js front end. That was a question over in our Discord earlier today. Someone who if you want to say who you are, can say so in the chat, but one of our people on Discord asked that awesome question. My bot's not running. Derp. Helps if you start the bot, Brendan. It helps if you start the bot. Try to do bot commands, no bot. Good job. I'm super professional there. I mean, come on, this is like my first stream. Totally not my 175th stream. Oh, wait. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, we are on episode 175 of DevChatter. If you don't know, my name is Brendan. This channel here is DevChatter. You can find my name right below me, and you can find the name of the channel stream somewhere around it. I don't know. Maybe it's up there or down there. I don't remember exactly where that shows up on the page, but somewhere it says DevChatter. I'm sure it does. Our bot is now up and running, so I can click all the buttons, I hope. The bot, wait, did the bot actually, wait, what? Where's the bot? Wait, what? Hang on. I don't see the bot. Did the bot say hi? I didn't see the bot say hi. Bot? Are you drunk? Alright, folks, the bot is drunk. That's all I can establish. It didn't actually connect there, which we will try again in a second. Either way, we're going to pull up this website, and I'm going to tell you all about the stuff we do here on the stream. So we do a lot of live streaming here on DevChatter. We like writing code and making our code work. That is step one every single time. Always first make your code work. Once your code works, then you can make it right. That's one of the big things that we support here. Oh yeah, caffeine. Delicious. So I've got my tea today, and hey, the bot's in chat. Awesome. Stoolpenner, I don't think the overlay will have loaded yet, though let me do this just to make sure it does. Hang on, if I do that ought to reload it, and now the overlay should definitely be up, because that should have re-triggered it. Alright, so let's click some buttons. First off, Discord button. So there's a link over there. As I said, the question asked in the chat in our Discord was, do we know of a streamer that does C# and React.js and that specific tech stack? We said no, we didn't know someone that did that exact tech stack. I'm sure there is someone, but I don't know off the top of my head who it is. But that inherently is why we want this page to work, because we want someone to be able to say ASP.NET Core and React. And so as soon as you search for that, it should filter down to streams that are just ASP.NET Core and React streams. So that is inherently why we're building this web page. So when people ask those kinds of questions, it's like, yes, you totally get what we're building, and you know, well, yeah, that's why we're building it. We know there's a need for that, so we're like, hey, the community definitely needs this, let's take care of it. So that was the question that was brought up in our Discord, and if anyone does want to help us achieve this goal in building this nice site, I would love it to be a community project. All the code that we do here on stream, not just this one, all the code we do is out on GitHub at github.com/devchatter, link in the chat as well as down below the stream or video if you're a future person. Alright, so I know today we got a pull request that came in, so I want to take a look at this real fast. That's an outdated comment from me. Cool. New changes since my last review. So let's take a look at, do I want to look at the whole thing? Let's just look at the whole thing. We'll just look at everything. So this is an awesome pull request we got from one of our community members. This is from James. And what did he send us? So we got collection extension, which is an extension, so it's a static class, which means we're getting extension methods out of it. So created a pick random extension that just news up random. Since we're not doing anything like making a poker game or some other thing like that, if you're in that scenario, just new up a static random kind of like this, and don't worry about it. It's gonna seed it based on time, so every time you run the application, it's not gonna be the same. Yes, someone could potentially figure out what its randomness is, but the randomness in this case really doesn't matter, so we're not worried about it. So if you go look up, how to correctly handle random number generation online, you'll find some stuff about this. And yes, if you are building something where money is involved, yes, go do the randomness correctly. For this, don't worry about it. So for this type of code, don't worry about it. If you're just picking random to I want to randomly decide which item to display on the home page, for example, yeah, don't worry about that. Just do random.newRandom. It seeds based on a time value, and you'll be okay. All right. So what did he do? Pick random from a set of items. Pick a count. This is a public method, so he put some XML comments on here. Pull random items from a set. Okay, so it can pull up to that number of those items, given that count, and modded in. Oh, wow! See, I like that. That's nice. So sets up a result, picks the random index value, does a for loop over the number that you're supposed to get. I almost want that to have a default of 1. Which I'm just going to put as a single comment. Because then you wouldn't have to pass it. You could just say pick random and it would pick 1. Because that seems like a good default for picking a random thing out of something. Also, geez, I forgot to say hi to everyone that showed up today. There were a whole bunch of people. Stoolpenner, Zunjin, S&B. And I'm actually just going to start calling you OMG, because I like it. OMG, welcome. Welcome all of you. Who else hopped in the chat while I wasn't paying attention? J-Steph, welcome everyone. Good stream today. So pick random element. Wait a minute. Random, next. Wait, hang on. What is this? What? Items, modded index, okay. Oh yeah, it picks, because it's picking a sequence of them. Yeah, so it's, okay, so thinking about this is going to pick them in order based on the index. This should say pull, should mention that this is pulling a sequence of them, so that people know what to expect. Not independently random ones. There we go. Okay, so if you think about this, if you have 10 items in the set, if you randomly select the third and set a count of 2, that means you're going to get the third and fourth item, not third and some other randomly chosen one. So because of the way this is written, this should definitely be clear in the description, so that anybody that does run this stands a chance at knowing what it did. Wait, what's always rigged? The rock, paper, scissors? Hey, Fishing Dev, welcome. Have fun. Fishing Dev and Sun, welcome. Alright, so created an interface for a Twitch service. I like it. With get channel IDs and get live channels. Okay. Is that like all channels? This maybe should take in what the values are, but maybe it's pulling from our database and then calling out to Twitch. Might be what it's doing. Let's see what it's doing. So inside the Twitch helper namespace, I'm okay with the core understanding that Twitch is one of the services we connect to. User result data is a class. Twitch result, user result data, user result, stream data, pagination, stream result. Whew, that's a lot of things all in one file. I may comment about separating that in a moment. Then what did we do? Channel aggregate service. Okay, that's not a change. That's not a change. That's not a change. Down here, this is a new Twitch service implementing that. So what did the gets do when we take a look at this? So this took in the database settings so that we could get access to talking to the database. And this does pull in Twitch. Okay, so I do want to separate how that works, and here's why. So this is why I structure things the way that I do. So let's talk about application architecture for a second here, because this is one of the big things that I like to do in a project. The Zunjin, I don't think it's rigged. Wait, Zunjin. Oh, just Zunjin won a thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, rigged. Also, Draco, hey, welcome, greetings. Okay, so here's the idea. Notice that this is Infrastructure Dapper is the name of this project. So we're not on the pull request branch right now. If we want to connect to Twitch, I want to create an infrastructure Twitch as well, so that each library only knows about either data access through the database or accessing data from Twitch or YouTube, and we don't get them mixed together. So that lets us sort of keep track of things and not intermingle our dependencies. So that's kind of the idea there. So I will I will try to get a branch set up where we get to James what it is he needs. Instead of trying to explain how to set up those libraries, I will set up the library and suggest he split into them. But I like a lot of what code is in here. I think it's good. There are some nice things. I just want to get our separation of concerns set up the way that we want to. And then the last thing is I want to get this pulled out into a JavaScript file instead of just being embedded directly in the HTML page. But other than that, I like the direction that you took. I think it's good. So hopefully you'll watch this, and I will let him know that we reviewed this at the beginning of the stream so he can check out this stream, because I don't see him in the chat right now. Okay, so I'm not going to merge that just yet, but I am going to put a comment on it now that I think about it. I'll get you some more feedback later, and we'll chat about changes in the DevStreams channel on Discord. Okay, let's go ahead and check out our project. So we were doing, as I said, we were working on this website. Here's what we were doing last time. I got us back to where we were. So this is the changes that we had. We have a bunch of to-dos that I added in, and essentially the to-dos are all get rid of these magic strings, like can access channel. I don't want these magic strings around. You'll notice that can access channel is a magic string all over the place. Rambling Geek, hey, welcome. And then there are some other things that we're doing that are literals, and I want to extract. So we made this authentication basically work. We're going to expand this to also work. So we added it to the controller, but we want this to work in more places, and we want to do more stuff with it. So let's take a look at this code. So I'm going to open up the startup and the channels controller first off. Startup, and did that start going? Yes, good. Channels controller. When you type faster than your tech, you definitely understand why people are wrong when they tell you if you are not a fast typer, that's okay. You don't have to be a programmer. That's not to say that typing fast and typing well can't help you as a programmer, because it can, but it is not a requirement. A lot of what goes into programming is not typing speed. It is much more frequently about thinking. It is thinking speed. We spend way more time thinking up good solutions than we do typing them. Okay, so I have these to-dos. Pro tip, if anybody doesn't know this, you can actually go ahead and go to the View window in Visual Studio and go down to the task list right here. You'll find task list as one of the options. When you open that up, it actually opens up this thing that loaded in a very weird place that it doesn't usually load into. I'm confused by that. Hang on. I am super confused right now. Why my task list loaded where it did there? Okay, so there's my task list. So the task list is a really nice feature in Visual Studio. And the reason why is that if you follow the same convention that I do, where I type in these to-do comments, one of the other things that you all may have noticed is that my to-do comments are this special color. So if you see my regular comments are green, my to-do comments are blue. So green, blue. And what's the deal with that? Well, I am running an extension called ReSharper that automatically does that with all to-do comments, because to-do comments are important. A to-do comment isn't just explaining what the code does. That is like, attention future developer, make sure you do a thing. The neat part is that Visual Studio understands that as well. So it's actually looking for, I think there's actually more than one type of comment that you can put in there that the task list will identify, but the to-dos definitely show up. And the reason I want you to know about this task list is that developers, we have a habit of creating things like these to-do comments and then not going back and doing them. If you keep the task list around and open it up frequently, you can come in, see what they are, and take care of them. So you'll notice that we have some extract this magic string and pull from config. Those are what I'm planning on looking at today. I believe the pull from config is the one I think it is. That or it's a different one. That's a slightly different pull from config, but we can get that too if we want. That is just we haven't done the work. It's just a reminder there. See if we can skip this. I don't think we can skip that yet. Alright, let's take a look. So we know about these. So channels controller and startup have these to do pull from config. No, these to do extract this magic string. So channel can access channel. That's the string we want to get rid of. Hang on. My typing on stream or in this chat goes, yep. That's how it works, S&B. You can't type once you're on stream. That's why you'll often hear me, I can't type today. Everybody hears me say that. Oh, actually, I was about to ask that. How do you do that add to-do stuff? Oh, yeah. They're just regular comments. Okay. So let's take a look over here in our core project. We're over here on the right in our Solution Explorer. And I want to create a folder about authentication and authorization permissions. So let's make a folder called authorization. And inside the authorization folder, we will have auth policy. We'll have auth policies, maybe. Folder. Authorization policies. No. Hang on. We're not going to do a folder. We're going to do a class. Sorry, my brain wasn't working there for a minute. Class. And this is going to be auth policies. Yes. And the auth policies, for now, we're just going to have constants in here. This may change. If they end up needing more value, we'll make them structures instead of just these strings. But for now, we're going to have public const string and we're just going to call it canAccessChannel. And we're going to set it equal to canAccessChannel. It doesn't like that name, but it's going to have to deal because I don't want to do the type of naming that it wants me to. So we're going to say auth policies. Yeah, see, that's funny. canAccessChannel. Auth policy canAccessChannel. So that is the extraction of those two magic strings. So that one's pretty easy. Because the string can literally just go like that. And the cool part is, for anyone that doesn't know, there are a lot of restrictions on what types of values can go inside of attributes. It happens that since that's a string, you can use things, you can use literals and you can use constants. There are a couple of other things, but there are limits on what can actually be in an inside of an attribute, not just authorized, but in any attribute there are limits, because the point in time that has to run is significant. Okay, so that should remove all of those tasks, and you'll notice I haven't compiled even, and Visual Studio has already figured out that I got rid of those and has removed them from our task list. So, hooray. Let's take a look at this. So we put that in there. I'm not even going to bother committing those now because we did the change. So we replaced that with that. We replaced that with that. I redid some namespaces. We put these values in there so that we're authorizing the channel. And whoops, this is the new policy. So let's do this as two separate commits. I'm not going to put this one in yet. I'm going to do this one first. So this is extract policy policy name string. We're going to say auth policy name string, which we're going to extract, which means that this commit separately is adding that authorization to the channel controller. Add, which actually, what calls that controller? Now that I think about it, this is API controller, API channels. So let's take a look. So we're going to say API slash channel. Whoops, was that case sensitive? Yes, it was. I got no results, and I'm like, wait a minute, I should have had results there. All right, I don't get what you're talking about, S&B. Exactly, Stolepenner. Hey, that's funny. I said exactly Stolepenner, and that's what S&B said. Nice. I love the idea of a task list built out of to-dos. Shame one of the applications I work on has to-dos from the mid-'80s. Oh, yes. If you're working on an old application, you'll have to-dos that are really old. A lot of times I will just get rid of those to-dos because they didn't really mean anything because you'll never get around to them. Some of them are like, look into this, and you're like, no one's ever going to look into that. Or what you can do is you can create a card or a bug or something in the current priority list in order to get rid of that to-do. Is there any reason of using structure for creating constants instead of a class? I usually go with a class, but is there an advantage on using a struct? It depends on what you're doing. I'm just going to use a class here because we're just doing a static class, so there's not really any object getting created. So, in fact, I could even make this static because we're currently not making them. This may unstatic at some point. We might create a private constructor for it. If we need more information to go along with these policies, we can either make them full objects or make them instances of this object, and either way, that's how we can get more information on them. Okay, so as I said, I did this search. It finds two spots inside of edit channel, so inside of save and edit. So that's where it's used. getting a single one. We're not using it anywhere else yet. So, okay. So this is only used in the backend, so we can say you have to be authorized to access the channel. All right. Here's the cool thing. Post, from body. I don't know. We're going to have to look into how we get that one. However, here's what we need to figure out. Is there any reason of using the structure? Greendolf, hey, welcome. Oliver, we are working on our community website that we've been building that is supposed to be a place for people to look for different developer streams that you might want to look at. So we're calling it the DevStreams site right now because it's a site about developer streams and help you find which ones you want to watch. Let's see. The Michael Jolly, hey, welcome, greetings. Similar to the to-dos from the 80s, we have a global policy of not using static ever due to legacy code where 100% of everything was static. Oh, yeah. Yeah, static cling is a bad thing, but that also, there are uses to static. So, you don't want to avoid it completely. Oh, that's awesome, Oliver. Yeah, we've been working on it for a little while. We haven't, I've only been doing it on stream, so you don't make a lot of progress doing things on stream. But we do get to see, you get to see how someone approaches a problem, which is one of the nice things about it. So, we got that in place. Let's see if we can't extract this. Whoops, that one? No. Where is it? We're using this authorize. I want to do a custom authorization attribute. So let's ask the web custom authorize attribute, and I'll show you why. Let's say ASP.NET Core. Core. There we go. So we want a custom authorize attribute. Yep, that's what we want. Claim requirement attribute. Well, that's not ours. Don't think that's what we're looking for. Parameterize authorize attribute. There we go. Yes, this is what we wanted. Okay. So we want to inherit from authorize attribute when we do this. So let's take a look. So inside of our authorization, we're gonna have we're just gonna call this foo for now. Now a lot of people will ask me, Brendan, why'd you call the thing foo? That's clearly not what the name's gonna be. Hang on. And the reason I do that is because I want to make sure that that it doesn't make it anywhere, that we don't commit it, that we actually name it. Because first off, I don't want to think about the name right now. I'm focused on doing the thing we're doing. We don't have ASP.NET over here. Okay, so in that case, foo doesn't live here. Foo lives over here. So we called this authorization handlers. That's not what it's going to be called anymore. This is just going to be called authorization. And we're going to put our foo over here now instead, which can get access to the authorize attribute. We're going to fix our namespace from core to web. And then once I do that, policy prefix. Ooh, that's a nice idea, actually. We don't range authorize. Hang on. I like static a lot when it holds no mutable state. Yes, exactly, Greendolf. So like statics to use extension methods, for example. If I've got like some application level constants, for example, I like having them in a static class, for example, also. because it is state, but it's not mutable. They're constants. So okay, so we need to create a so this is its constructor, hilariously. The way they wrote this example, writing the constructor like this, someone should smack them because no one does this. If this were a thing about C#, sure, we could be like, yeah, look, you can do it this way. So instead of setting age, so let me show you what this actually looks like. So boom, there's the real code. I like expression-bodied methods for like a method, like an is something or other. I don't like it for the constructor because people are not used to seeing that one, and they're more used to seeing it for methods, but for a constructor in C#, it looks weird. So I don't do it. Okay, so we don't want, age is not our property. What we want is, where are we using this? Over here. But I don't want to actually look at this one. I want to look at edit inside of my channel. So, whoops, not this one. The CSH, whoops, nope. The CSHTML.cs file. This one. Whew, third time's the charm, right? Okay. So over here, this is what I wanted to show you. We are using that attribute. What? I swear we're using it here. Are we not using it here? We don't have it on the onGet on this page? Why do we not have it on the onGet on this page? Or is it because we don't have... Oh! Because it's automatically applying. We're not authorizing it this page. Are we? Okay. That's a good point. We're authorizing up there. So I guess we'll do it in the channel only. Okay, that's fine. We'll show it here. Okay, so what is this? This is parameter name? Parameter name. Parameter name. String, call it parameter. And whoops, I don't want a field, I want to create a property, public string property parameter that gets assigned like that, and that's how we create this. So this is, we'll say authorize parameter. So we'll call it authorize parameter. Did this update the file name? No. Why didn't you update the file name when I did the rename? We'll rename the file. There we go. So authorize parameter. Any other tricky stuff that they recommend over here to us? They created a getter and a try parse policy substring out. What? Oh, so they can pull it out of that value if it didn't get passed into the constructor? Oh, because they're that's absurd. I guess you can do it that way. That's not how we're doing it. We're not doing it that way. We are not doing it that way. Let's do it this way. So right here, this says authorize. I want to authorize parameter. Or actually, wait a minute. Hang on. No, it was right. I'm wrong. See? It's right. I'm wrong. You win, Mike. Also, thanks, Mike. Because policy's not from this, it's from that. Oh, we could actually just permanently set the policy to just can access what it is. We'll do that. We'll have that as the other parameter. Policy and then that. And then on this we say policy equals policy. Actually, no, we're not setting it that way. We're going to do this. Base constructor policy. So you have to pass in the policy and the parameter. So we'll do that. That'll wire it up correctly. Okay. What's going on in chat? Sorry, everyone, I missed that for a second. May have done some of those constructions. Nice. Yes, exactly. It's not very intuitive to look at the constructors that have an expression-bodied that are expression-bodied methods. It's strange. Seeing it with a method, I'm totally cool with that. Like if an isOwner check, for example, that just checks a parameter against a value and it's really simple, is great. But in a constructor, it's just weird because we're not used to seeing it, because constructors are already missing a method name, essentially. They're just a type, so it's already a strange method. So it just gets a little weirder then. Everybody's got to get used to them sometime. And I agree, that's why I use them for methods. But I like to wait until people are more used to it for methods before I start trying it on constructors. Expression-bodied main... Oh, Greendolf, yeah. That is not your favorite thing. Best part for me is using it for the get-only parameters. Yes, exactly. Where you do like a... you do the expression-bodied property, and you do one of these, and you just say, you know, foo or whatever, and you're like, ha-ha, ha-ha-ha-ha. We're all done. But no, for this one, we're not doing that. We're leaving that alone because that is a property getting set by here, and it's going to work just fine. So let's go ahead and use this inside of the controller. So authorize parameter, we have that, and then the next thing is this. ID. And someone's going to ask why I put ID in there. Yep, someone's going to ask that. And then in this one, I want to put channel. And that's the one that I don't know if it's going to work or not. We're going to find out. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? ReSharper or Visual Studio, or whichever one's doing it. Curly brackets are evil. They all must go. Give us an expression-bodied class. Greendolf, you might be able to get that. Stop this. Yes. Yeah, just send Greendolf back to Python. I don't mind curly braces. They're not bad. Curly braces are not bad. Okay, let's take a look at our change. What do we got here? That's nothing. This is switching to this parameter. We're going to try this, see if it works. That's moving that file. That's fine. Actually, let's fix these namespaces while I'm at it. Alright, there we go. So that's just messing with those. This is putting in the parameter, so that's the real change. That is moving a file, that's moving a file. That is the file move. So let's do this. First off, let's commit that little restructure that I did. Which is going to be deletion of that. Deletion of that, the creation of that, and the creation of that. So this is rename authorization folder. Bonk. Let's hope that it figured out what those were. Did it figure it out? Yes, it did. Good. It figured out that was just a file, like a namespace change and a move of the files. And that's Whoops. This was supposed to be in that one. Hang on. Derp. Derp. What? No. What? Why would you possibly think I meant that, computer? We're gonna do a little bit of git shell stuff, because we are gonna alter history, everyone. DevChatter. On stream. DevStreams. And we are going to git add, and we are going to add in the startup class. Git commit amend -- no - edit. So that ought to add that in. So that should have added that to our previous change. So if we look at the history here, now we did that rename, and hey, we updated the namespaces when we moved it. So didn't create the bug. Fixed. What are you talking about? I never made that mistake. I never made that mistake. Make auth policies static. That can go in on its own as well. It was already used basically only as a static. Let's see. Curly braces for the win. Yes, exactly. I can't stand seeing 2 lines with only white space. Which everybody I found tons of bugs because people hadn't surrounded multi-lines with red. Yes. Yeah, that is totally true. I like having the curly braces there for some stuff, and for other stuff not there. It really depends on the circumstance. If the curly braces add clarity, I like them. Yeah, thanks, Miha. I didn't do a force push, so no one had to look away for that one. I strongly encourage the use of Roslinator to catch those hard to see syntax issues. Yeah, that's actually a really good suggestion. There are a lot of those little bugs that it's nice if they can be pointed out to you. Okay, so this is our new authorized parameter. We are going to want to check this out. The way we're going to do that is we're going to drop a breakpoint in our channel get page, our channels controller get action. So we're going to put that right there. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to go to our channel permissions handler, which checks the channel owner requirement, which is required by that policy. We're going to drop a breakpoint there as well. And I'm going to stop the website running over here in VS Code and start it running in Visual Studio. We're going to do a little bit of debugging. And we want to see, when I go to the edit page, that it's going to call this, which actually, now that I think about it, I might just go to the, I might just do this, APIs/channel, is it single or plural? Channels 1. I'm not logged in, so it should not let me through. I don't have a user ID. And when we grab this value, ooh, that's null. Uh-oh, that wasn't in the route data. What was in the route data, I wonder? What are the keys? ID, action, and controller. I passed in the ID, I thought. Whoops, not keys. Derp. That was 1. But it's not an int question mark, is it? Haha, no it's not. It's just an int. So that's why that failed. Because it wasn't 1. Alright, so this brings up exactly the point that I want to make, and here's why we're doing what we're doing. So today, we're going to talk about C#. We're going to have a little bit of fun with C# as I get to give you all the example that everyone asks me to give them every single time since C# 7 came out that I have had to give to people. So when C# 7 came out, one of the features I was most looking forward to was pattern matching. So if you haven't seen pattern matching in C#, maybe you have, you kind of sit there and think, hey, why is that useful? I'm about to show you why it's useful. But first, I'm going to drink a little bit of my tea, which is still warm because I have a little heating pad for it. That's delicious. Feel free to take a tea break, everyone, if you want to have a sip. Okay, so, we got that value, so we know that's coming through, so it grabbed this. So first off, I want to change something. I need access to the authorized attributes. I'm not going to deal with that just yet, because we've already run into the problem that we have the wrong type. Okay, so over here, here's the problem. We're pulling this out, we're casting it as an int, and that just doesn't work. This, we need to pull as the actual value, so this is going to be an object. And that, sure, we'll call it value. Why not? We're not inside of a property, so it's not a keyword here. And here's what we want to do. We want to say, if value is null, I think we're saying context.succeed requirement. I think we were saying if it's null, go ahead and let it through. If it's not, so in this case, it's not null, which means we can say if value, and yes, we can switch this to a switch if we want to, but I want to show you how it works. So here's what we get to do. We get to now say if value is int ID, which that's going to complain, that's fine. And the person has the permission to that one. Then, again, succeed. Alternate to that is it could be an int question mark. At which point this is it'd be a nullable ID at that point. So instead of calling it ID here, actually, let's do this. Let's call this integer. Sure. It'll be ID, I guess. This isn't question mark, and this is, I don't know, null ID. We'll try that. I think it doesn't work, we established, yeah. Because this can't get created because that question mark confuses it. So we're going to say nullable. I would not be surprised if someone in the audience today does not know that this is the case, that this value is that. It is not legal to use nullable type in a pattern. Oh, okay. I guess then the way they treat it is the nullable just evaluates to the int, at which point we're fine. So I guess it doesn't let us use nullables at all for that. Well, either way, this is the other one that I wanted to put in here. Channel. And we're going to call it channel. So instead of null ID, we're going to say channel. Channel.id. This name needs to simplify because it's too long. Sure, permission service will be that for now. Because it's a little bit shorter. Can access channel. There we go. Okay. What is going on in chat? whole bunch of stuff. Let's see. Dennis, welcome. Thanks for that follow, much appreciated. Let's see. Strongly encourage users. Hang on. Green if I may. Responsible for some of those too. Spam for mixed types brackets. Look, I want the code to fit on one screen. Is that so bad? I want code to fit on one screen as well. I mean, one expression can be many lines. Fits on screens, horizontal. Yeah. Does the question mark really confuse it? Yeah, Joe Philly. The question mark. So apparently, inside of there, we're not allowed to cast to that type. It wants us to just go to the int. I believe the reason for that is that null is a separate check. So if it's null, it's not really that type. So it does not match the pattern, I think is the idea. Kind of surprising, I agree. Yeah, Voight, Voight, it's totally a hair service there. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either, President Not Sure. I'm not sure what to go with here. I could almost just go with, like, permissions. Which actually might be the better way to go. We're just going to call it permissions then. Actually, that's not bad. Permissions can access channel. Yeah, that makes sense. So thank you for yelling at me there, President. Much appreciated. So we're going to check if it's null and say succeeded. If it's that, it says succeeded. If it's this one, then we're going to do that. And then otherwise, task completed. So if they're allowed access to the channel, we give them access to the channel. Might have been a channel, might have been that, might have been this. The value right now, we're only checking ID, so that's the only one that should happen. But let's drop our breakpoints back in, run it again, and we'll find out what happens. Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins. I know the excitement as we charge into almost certain death. Alrighty. Let's take a look. We're not logged in, so we don't have a user ID. That's fine. Value is 1, so we can see that the value is 1. So value is not null, so we skipped it. If the value is an integer, then we check to see if we can do this. So I'm going to step in. Ooh, see, we couldn't access the channel. But ID got the value of 0? What is the type of this object, I wonder? It says 1. Let me drop a breakpoint there. I want to see when we call that. So I know that I'm going to get denied here, and that's okay. API channels 1. There we go. Get rid of those. Jump to the next point. Oh, it skips right past it. Value's not that. Okay. It must be a string. It didn't convert. Why didn't it convert it? It's already an integer. Oh! Maybe the authorization ones don't change the type. Well, let's check it. Actually, we can check it without doing anything else. We'll just do it at runtime. Okay, so we'll jump down here. Value. Get type. What's it think the type of value is? String. Oh man, it thinks it's a string. So it really has come as the query parameter. Well, that's bad. Because we pulled it off of route data. Let's ask the interwebs again. Let's see, API controller, complex parameter, authorization, attribute. The quest body, authorization filter, action context. Context dot. Nope. What are we in? Authorization handler. From body. Wait, yes. Authorize, create, hang on. Wait, but do you ever check the actual... Because if I seriously have to just do this with an action filter again, I'm going to be annoyed. Because I was really hoping that I could do this with an authorization. I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure it's going to let me. Should those be else ifs? Yeah, Greendolf. I was gonna make it a switch, but yes, you're right. It should be an else if right now. Anyway, Jadis, welcome. Thanks for that follow, much appreciated. I found a good answer to why checking for nullable types doesn't work. Why does pattern matching on a nullable result in syntax errors? The type patterns, various ecstasy. It's because null doesn't have a type. Yeah, null is a constant value that doesn't have a type in C#. So when we do where is it? In our authorization handler, this one. When we do this, so there's three types of things that pattern matching can do. The first one is pattern matching can check against constant values. So we can do value is null, but I can also write this. I can say value is 1. And this literally will take that and you know, value is 1, and why will it not it should let me put that as a value. I thought I was going to be able to declare a variable, but either way we can do that. And these are the same check. It's checking that this is an explicit constant. Null doesn't have a type because null can be of anything, so it's an untyped constant value in C#. So kind of weird. Greendolf, this is C# 7. We're not on 8. We might be on 7 dot something, but we're definitely not on 8 yet because I have not even installed it yet. That would require I switch to the newer version of Visual Studio, which I haven't done yet. What is that? It could be April 2nd? Oh yeah, Joe Philly, no problem. We are messing around with authorization filters, and we're trying to get it so that we can pass in the value the way I want. Essentially, there are two things that I want to have happen here, and we may end up doing this with an action filter. Yeah, Greendolf. I don't want to use it on the machine that I have to use for streaming. I don't want to have it like mess up and things like that. But yes, we will be installing and using it. It'll be good stuff. Calm yourself, Greendolf. Relax. You'll be okay. Alright, actually, you know what? I kind of want to hide this. That's what we'll do. That's how we'll make it nicer. Can access channel. Channel.id. There we go. Yay. Channel ID. Woohoo! That is way better. See, we made it fit. But you are correct. These should be else ifs. Whoops. Else if, which, once you do an else if, then you can be like, nope, you're a switch. So there we go. There's our switch. Someone's gonna murder me about that switch, by the way, but I love it. It's good. That's a hilarious switch. I'm on that just shipped the big thing high right now. Oh yeah, there you go. Read nullable references anywhere. Everywhere. What? Nullable references everywhere. Hackster and Thickhead, welcome. Thanks for those follows, much appreciated. And yes, Screendolf, congratulations on shipping an awesome feature. And we're getting some nice follows today, so welcome everyone. That's worth some hype in the chat there. So these circumstances, we're going to set each one of those. There's our switch. If we're either null or an int, and you can access the channel, or a channel and you can access the channel, then we're good. This value I want to pull out, this code might all get pulled somewhere else. Oh yeah, yes, the in C# 8 you're allowed to declare the fact that that you don't want to have nullable reference types, or that you do. It becomes a configurable option, and if you disable that, then what happens is any reference type that does not have a question mark after it is going to be assumed to not be nullable. And what that means is that it's going to do compiler checking to make sure that you are safe about your use of that object, so that it won't ever be null, so that you can always depend on it not being null. So caffeine. Developer fuel, as we call it. Okay, so because I changed that, I'm going to switch that name back to permissions service. Underscore permissions service. Yep, go ahead and switch it back. And the reason I'm switching it back is because we moved that in here. So it's no longer a super long name causing us, you know, word wrap problems. So that made it a little bit nicer. I just want null reference exceptions to tell me which object. Yes, S&B. You have no idea how many years I've been yelling at them to tell us that. And the thing that kills me is I totally understand. So I brought this up at an MVP summit a bunch of years ago to, you know, basically the C# team. We were talking with those guys, and we were asking for that value, and we got an answer that is kind of legitimate. They told us at the point that the exception happens, they don't know the name of that variable. They do not have that data at that point that happens. I get it. But what we think they have, and that they have yet to tell us the type of the variable that was null. Because you might not have its name, but you probably have the type. Because once it's compiled, it often loses the metadata of what the developer named the variable, but it should know the runtime type of that value. And if they told us the type of the value that was null, half the time that would essentially tell us which value was null. So just tell us the type at runtime that you think it is. Even if polymorphism causes a little bit of confusion, maybe you told me it was a controller but didn't say which one or something like that, Maybe I knew it was an authorization handler, but I didn't know it was a channel permissions handler. Fine, that narrowed it down a lot. Like, the null checks in the framework will use the argument name parameter. Exactly. Yes. that would work. Imagine building a brand new C# compiler and not sending the identifier name to null exceptions. Yeah, exactly. Now Joe is joking there, but the funny part being that I still don't I get that they don't have the name. I don't care. Tell me the type. The type is good enough in 90% of cases to just remove the confusion and be like, oh yeah, that was null. Because every time when we get a null reference exception, what do we do? All right, well, let's run it. Let's figure out which one of these could be null. Okay, what line did it happen on? Okay, so it could have been this or this or this. It's one of those. I'm not sure. But wait, hang on. We're awaiting this. Is it maybe that one? I don't know. Like, okay, let's run it. All right, catch the breakpoint. All right, which one's null? And it's like, what? Every single time. For how many years have we been doing that? And there's not a better way yet? Come on, guys. And again, like with the number of times they've done quality of life improvements for us, it's surprising that they haven't gotten us that one. Okay, so channel owner requirements. All right, here's what I want to figure out how to do. I want to get this value off of our custom authorized attribute. We're gonna look that up again. Yeah, we get the age, but then how do we use it? So inside of our provider, how did we get it? Ooh, they pull it from the policy name? Yee. Yuck. Yuck. That's disgusting. Can't believe they would do that. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can put it in the string. All right, yeah, about that, okay, hang on a sec. Hang on, I need my brain to work for a second. Let's see. Authorization class. We're just gonna do channel authorized for now, and I'm gonna do it like this, which is not totally right. But I think I can sort of fake it this way. Because this is how I've done it in the past. Come on. You're seriously not going to give me the options? On action executing? Executing? It's definitely not on results. So it should be on On action executing. So we'll do that one, because I don't see any others. On action executing, we're not going to do the async one, although I guess we can. It doesn't really make a big difference. We'll do this, and then we'll need a constructor. How's chat going? Is it blowing up? Take care, S&B. Sorry, I missed the... Yep, have a good one. I had an even better idea a long time ago. Instead of just the type, give me the line of IL. Oh yeah, that would work. If you don't have the stack trace with the line number, you're... yeah, exactly. That'd also be... not the framework? Congrats to String for winning Type of the Year again. Yeah, exactly. Could combine the two, generate index and out. Yeah. Okay, so we want to create this attribute. Because this is a custom attribute, we need a value in here, and this is going to be the parameter name. We'll just call it parameter. So this is what I was creating before. We created a custom attribute last time, but this time, since it is an action filter, it is an attribute itself. So we don't have to deal with making it public, I don't think. Don't think we're going to need to make it public. We'll find out if I can get away with not making it public, and as long as I can do that, then we're in pretty good shape. Okay. I don't think we need to call the base action filter using on that. What we want to do is this. Trying to think for a second how we're gonna do that. We make that be that, then can do that. Make that a method that takes that. Okay. We can definitely do that. So we're gonna say context dot what do we have? We have the full HTTP context and the model state. So we have access to all the values. Let's see. I want access to the I want access to the IOC at this point. We're gonna ask the interwebs about this. ASP.NET Core IOC. Inject a service into an action filter, exactly. Yep, you define the service, that's fine. Using the filter as a service. Wait, what? How do we get access to that type? If I create that filter, though, this would work, actually. I like that one. I don't know how that gets me what I want. A service filter of that type, but then I don't get to pass my parameter, which is not what I want. I need to pass my parameter, and this one does it. So we're going to do that. So our service is still in there. Anybody else have a good solution on that one, better than the one I'm doing? Nope. Alright, we're going with this one. This one is the one I like, right here. And I will show you why in a moment. Okay. So our session service is not what we want. We want... where's our channel permissions handler? This one. It's this that we need. Oops. Yeah, there we go. So we need the parameter, and we need the channel permission service. Channel permission service is now a thing that we need to set. So we're going to put that there. And it is a... we are getting an iChannel permission service off of that. There we go. Okay. Whoops. Alright, so that is context that... whoops, I made it read-only. It's not read-only anymore, because it needs to get set by this. But let's do this all fancy-like. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Everybody watching? Fancy stuff coming. Let me check the chat before I do my fancy stuff. And that's what's kind of... let's see. Runs to add null checks on the published library code. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so here's the thing I'm doing. String parameter. Now we'd have a duplicate iChannel permission service. So that's our big named thing, but this is not really what we're taking in. This is a lie. Permission service. I would love to have this work. This doesn't work. What I instead want to have is this. I want something that takes in the request services. So we're going to say a... brain. We're going to say a brain. This value. What is that? An iService provider. Wait a second. Isn't this what the guy said to do? Welcome, someone. Thanks for that follow. Much appreciated. Sorry I'm not seeing who that is just this second. Isn't that how get service works? Oh, it doesn't have a... okay. That's fine. We can call it this way. iChannel permission service. That's fine. We can do it that way. Oh, do I need to cast it? Maybe I need to cast it. Yeah. It doesn't... so it gets it back, but it doesn't have the type there, so we need to do it that way then. Okay, so we'll pull it from there and then cast it, and it becomes that value. Okay. So that means that this can be extracted as... whoops, cancel. Yeah, we'll extract this as a method, but we're going to pull it as a local function, I think, for now? No. Not a local... yeah, we'll pull it as a local function, see if it lets me make it as a... change this to a... well, I didn't want to make it an expression body, but I guess I will. I was hoping to turn it into a function. By that I mean a func. So it's going to be a func that is a... the authorized, let's see, so this here, we need to have this one take in nothing. This one, instead of taking this, is going to take in a func of iService provider, and what's the other one? It's iChannel permission service, and then we will call this foo, and I'll rename that in a minute. Which means here, this is going to be the provider, right? That's our parameter. No. Oh, whoops. Derp. This is going to call this parameter. And it's going to pass in provider. Yeah, exactly. We're going to be doing the func. We're doing the func, and we're going to say provider dot. Yep. It's this, except instead of provider 1, it's going to be that. Someone's probably yelling at me about something in chat. Hey, Fishing Dev, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Much appreciated. Who's it? Kathoka, welcome. Thanks for the follow as well. I'm going to spam some hype in the chat, because, hey, another sub. And welcome. Please enjoy your Chatosaurus emotes and sub badge and everything like that. Lots of fun. No one was yelling at me in chat. Cool. I figured someone would have been yelling at me in chat, being like, "What are you doing? What kind of crazy sorcery is this?" Okay, so... And Greendolf, thanks for gifting that sub. And welcome to the Chatosaurus crew. We'll see how long it takes him to notice, Greendolf. Well, Greendolf's busy. Welcome, Voigt. You have also been gifted a sub. Hype, hype, hype. So we've got more subs in the chat. Please do enjoy those emotes, and make sure you thank Greendolf for that. So there you go. You get your nice egg and access to our hype and derp emotes here in the channel. And actually, it's not just here. You can use those anywhere on Twitch. So if you are a sub to any channel on Twitch, you can use the emotes anywhere else on Twitch. And you actually then get access to them in Discord as well. So if you are in Discord, you can then use them usually in other people's Discords as well. So if you like ours, you get access to them. Let's put this back. So this is just this. There we go. So that's just service provider, which I'm just going to call provider because that name's super long. But even then, I kind of want to just put it back to this. I just pulled that out to confirm that it was definitely just a service provider and nothing weird. Permission service. This is where our other code's going. So let's go steal this code from our other class now. So that's this code here that we're gonna steal. Thank you, us. Thank you for letting us steal this from you. Much appreciated. Alright, we need to make sure that we can figure out who the current user is. Yeah. We may not have that exactly anymore. Why don't we have context user? Oh, it's because it's HTTP context user. There we go. So that'll get us our user. That'll get us our user ID. So I'm gonna make these little helper methods actually. We're gonna extract out a method that has a return value of user ID exactly. So get user ID. from the context. There we go. So that'll get the user ID from the context. That's fine. And then context dot how do we get these values? That's what I'm wondering about. Using the Discord Hype Dragon and other services paid Nitro feature. Oh, is it? I don't think it is, Greendolf. I think if you want to use it without being a subscriber to us on Twitch, I think if you use my Discord channels emotes, you do get limited. But I believe there's some kind of partnership going on such that if you subscribe to a channel, you get that set of emotes used elsewhere. I think you can do that without needing to use Discord Nitro. So that's actually part of the reason why there are two sets of hype emotes and everything like that in my channel, is one are the channel ones and one are the Twitch ones. So I believe you should have access to it. Try it on another Discord channel. See if you've got access to my emotes. I don't know if you have. I don't know if you have that. And Johan B, if you don't know what Discord is a chat application that we use here, and it's basically a good communication platform for Twitch streamers, gamers, and also for teams working on projects collaboratively, things like that. Oh, you know what Discord is? Well, in that case, are you in our Discord? Because if not, you should join it. Oh, yeah. Yep, you have access to Twitch emotes over there. So, yep, they pull them in. It's kind of a neat trick. Okay. Let's see. We're going to take a look at this. So, context dot action arguments. I think that's what it is. I think this is the data. And now I want to use ID here, and I think this will get me my value, and I think this is the new version of that. Can access channel we're going to steal as well, because I like that little helper method that we wrote here. So can access channel. And we no longer do a context succeed because we're over here. Essentially what we want to do is probably, if we don't have authorization, throw an exception, right? So we'll say if we're in this circumstance, return, maybe. Is there anything we can return from this? No, it's void. Which tells us down here that we want to... Oh, actually, we could do these. Yeah. That might be the way to do it. We'll see what happens. Oh, you're right, I didn't set these. Underscore parameter equals parameter. So now that has been at least set. Foo needs to be named. This is permission service. Ooh, do I want to do it that way? I think I don't. I think I want foo to get saved. We'll call this the gotta come up with a name, and no one in chat's chiming in to help. Guys are just leaving me out to dry right now. I see how it is. We'll call this the authorization factory. Permissions factory. I think that name is not terribly long, unless we can use it. Okay, so we have the permissions factory. That's not really going to be there, despite the fact that I'm trying to use it right there. That value is used right there, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to say permissions factory. Ooh, do I call execute, or am I just going to call it? I guess I'll just... No, I'm going to call... whoops, invoke. I can't type. Context dot HTTP context request service. And then this is going to get stored as our permission service right there. We're going to get rid of this. And, ooh, can access channel doesn't have it down there now. Derp. In that case, we'll just do that. Goodbye, helper method. As nice as you were, we're going to call it like that now. Which, actually, I'm just going to call this authorization can access channel. There we go. Alright, did everybody see and understand the fancy thing I did up top where I, good evening, Coding Karma. Welcome. I have no idea why you're hanging there drying. I just joined. Oh, yeah. No, I was hoping people would help me come up with a name on that. It's so hard to name things. Naming things is seriously difficult. Alright, so here's what we're doing. Let me just look through this. It's no longer ID, that's parameter. And it's going to be either null, int, or channel. Yeah, so, okay. People here watching right now, here's what's going on. What we're doing, we're gonna use an action filter as if it were an authorized attribute. So we're sort of lying a little bit here. We are gonna have an authorized attribute. We're also gonna have one of these because we need to make sure they're logged in, and then we also need to check this. So what we're doing is when you come in here, when it's trying to execute the action, we are going to check and see if you have permission to access the thing that the channel you're trying to work with. When you try to access it, what we're going to do is we're going to say, go ahead and essentially use this method we created right here. And this method is our service provider. Hey, Rubik's! You got to the 9-month one! It's baby time! Sadly, nothing happens in changing of the sub badge, but welcome! That's a big hype right there. That is a 9-month resub. Rubik's has been a sub here for 9 months in a row. That's crazy. Crazy awesome, I should say. Not crazy in like a crazy in a good way. You know what I mean? It's like crazy good. Sub badge should be a baby at 9 months. Yeah, totally should, Greendolf. Sadly, they give us a 6-month and a 12-month, not a 9-month. I guess they didn't realize how everyone would think the 9-month one was interesting because it's a baby time. Alright, unauthorized, blah, 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 blah. Name of. No magic strings here. Alright, I don't know why I did that one. Alright, so we're going to try this and go to the channel controller. And instead of doing an authorized parameter, we're going to do a regular authorize, which is just going to require that you are logged in. Nothing special. And then we're also going to do a channel authorize. And the parameter we're going to specify here is ID, because that's ID. So I can't really get rid of this because I can't name of that value, but I do want it to match up there, and then that should work. And then I want to do the same thing here, but on this one, instead of ID, this one is channel. Now remember, if channel is null, then we're saying that you're allowed access, which means if that ID value is null, we should allow you access to it. So let's do this. Oh, where is it? It's this one. Can access channel. Let me go to where this is. There isn't a channel. Right. So I'm going to get rid of my fancy switch, because the switch is what's not going to work for us. Channel authorize. Let's get rid of the switch. To an if else. Oh god! Oh god! That was a really bad if else. Can you... oh, no. Eek. Ugh. Alright. Value is channel. We're just gonna write it like this. Channel. And... author, else if value is int, whoops, if value is int ID, else if value is null, return. There we go. Oh, since I'm returning, they actually don't need to be else's, do they? Derp. Okay, so that's these, and then we want to do this. So I want to say if value is an int, and authorization can access channel, and then in this one, and channel. Okay, so value is channel. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. Time flies. Yes, it does, Rubik's. You're on your way to 12 months. Nice, Greendolf. Who's crazy? If you get 9 subs in a single stream, will it hatch too? Yes, Voight, that's how it works. I'm doing package.config, package reference migration, some other reasons. Evil. Wow, it didn't let you post a clip to my own thing. I did an evil laugh. Did I do that today? I hope I did it today. Yeah, Rubik's. I'm actually kind of surprised it didn't let you link. It usually lets subs link. Maybe I need to adjust the permissions for that. But Crimson Green can probably repost the... well, here. I'll post it. You posted this clip, which apparently was me doing an evil laugh. Not that I would ever do an evil laugh. So, so if it's a channel, and one of these two circumstances is correct, that's what we need to do. If it's a channel and then one of these two is correct, and the circumstances are this: channel.id equals null, equals 0, or authorization dot can access channel user ID ID. Whoops, channel ID. Yeah, so, and then it's one of those two. Either the ID is 0 or that. Can I switch this? Okay, there's the switch. Alright, fantastic. That's nicer. I think I can have these cases fall through, actually. Yeah. Any of those cases should return null. There we go. When the channel is that, or so if it's a channel, when the channel ID is null, or you can access it, and then when the channel, yeah, okay. That's how we want it written. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 on what? I have a clip with free sound effects, just because you said they were free. Cool. I thought I said that on someone else's thing, actually. I don't remember. Let me click this. Do I? Oh, sweet. Yeah, I must have done an evil laugh. That sure looks like I did an evil laugh. I'll have to listen to that. It's probably good. Oh man, I hope I don't butcher your name. Miria, welcome. Thanks for following. Much appreciated. And I probably did butcher it, but if I did, either way, welcome, and sorry about that. But let me know how to say it, and I will try to say it better next time. Refkabenum. Did I miss something? You have episodes? Oh, yeah, so, we are on episode 175 of DevChatter. That means that we have done 175 streams here. We call them episodes, because why not? You know, helps us, you know, keep track of that number. And it's just a nice little thing. So we usually mention how many streams we've done. Quite a few. They are all recorded. You can find them all out on YouTube, over at youtube.com/c/devchatter. I believe they are coming out scheduled, but YouTube changed out their stuff. They have a new beta, you know, creator thing that they did, and it's all borked. So, thanks, YouTube. Really appreciate it. Let's try this code. We're gonna run this. We're gonna check out that that controller, see what happens. Plump busy herring. Hey guys. What is that? What the clip tag is. Yeah, I need to figure out what I want to do about clips. Hang on a second. I want it to be here. Load it here. Get the right window here, Visual Studio. There we go. So anyway, I probably do want to let people link to clips here in the chat, but I need to find some way to limit it, so I need Nightbot to be a little bit smarter about that. Yes, Crimson Green, I did. I grabbed it while we were on stream here. Okay, so it went there. Hang on. So I'm not logged in, so we expected that, and I should not have gotten here. So let me just confirm that I did not hit that breakpoint. I don't. Alright, so I believe the password is this. That's a super secret password, everyone. Please don't look in the source control. I mean, there's no way I committed what the password is to that account into there. Okay, so now that we're logged in, we are here. And, oh, we got to the can access channel, so it's doing this check. channel ID 1 and that user ID. So it's actually going to ask it, if we have that permission. And we're in here, so that means we did have the permission. It is going to check it. There it is. Okay, so we were able to get that. Channel 2, we don't have authorization to, I don't think. Maybe 2 we do. I don't remember which ones we have access to. Maybe it's 3 that we don't. We only have access to 2 of the 3 channels. Unauthorized. There it is. Okay, so we did not have access to that one. So we got back our unauthorized. We were trying to get a channel we didn't have. So the password definitely is in the source code, but it's not that secret sensitive. Exactly, Coding Karma. And by that we mean the password is absolutely in the source control, and it really doesn't matter, because it's just the password we use for development. So while we're in dev mode, we just have that password just hard-coded in there. Don't worry about it. Just look the other way. There's nothing going on. Nothing to see here. The authorized parameter, which is an authorized attribute, we're going to get rid of that. So goodbye. The action filter we're keeping. This one we are not. Channel permissions handler. So this is going bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you later. We don't need you anymore. Channel owner requirement. Actually, maybe before I did that I should do something else, but we'll check that in a minute. We're going to get rid of the requirements for now, so we're just going to have the channel authorized right there. Let's check another thing. Whoops. I am looking for ASP.NET Core, Razor Page Action Filter. Filter methods for Razor Pages. Yes, exactly, this. Razor Pages iPage filter. To run code before and after. Okay, how do they work? Do they work like an action filter? On page handler execution async. Okay. How do we define that it's using them, though? In the startup, filters. Okay. I was hoping to define them on the page. Page model. Where's the... Yeah, I basically want an action filter. But then how do I define it? Let's see. Maybe Nightbot doesn't work because it's daytime. Oh man, Rubik's. Yeah, that's wow. If Nightbot could limit clips posting to clips of the current channel, that would be yes, exactly. If I could either limit which channels you could post clips from, something along those lines, that would be much better. The way that they could do that is if they made, instead of doing this, so the URL for our channel is twitch.tv/devchatter. If they instead made it devchatter.twitch.tv, being an alternate way of doing that, they could make all the share links be like, devchatter.twitch.tv/clips or something like that. Johan, yeah. Yeah, well, it's where the stream is located is where Nightbot deals with, Johan. So like a European stream right now, European streams, Nightbot works for Europe right now and Asia, but in the United States, and North and South America, Nightbot isn't working well over here. So Nightbot travels around the world avoiding the sun. It's always on the opposite side of the planet from the sun, and so that's why Nightbot isn't as effective on channels that are running on the other side of the world. It's the lag time on the internet. This is a little slow to connect across the sea. You can name clips now based on that. I know you can name a clip, but okay, yeah. Wait, hang on. Attribute, yes. Okay, but how do I actually use it as an attribute? Add header. Oh, Rubik's, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at this. This is awesome. Anybody catch that highlighted name? Thanks, Steve. So for anyone that doesn't know, Steve lives like 5 miles that way. So it's always funny. Anytime I'm reading docs and I find Steve's name, it's like, oh, yep, there's Steve. Hey, Steve, did you write this article? He's one of them. Yeah, Steve's one of the contributors to this article. I just laughed because I got there and I'm like, hey, look, it's Steve. Yeah, Steve is the author. Add header to a controller. Okay. Header attribute, no. Okay. Really should have pulled Steve in for this, because he could definitely help me with this one. Yeah, I hate doing this service filter approach, though. I don't like it, because I then don't have an easy way of passing the other parameter. Type filter, yeah, see, again, that's on a controller, and I don't want it there. Razor page attributes. No, that's the wrong one. Page model attributes. Yeah, filters and razor pages, exactly. That's what I want. There's got to be a way to do it. They may not have let us have attributes on these. They might not call them this way. Custom filter attributes a result filter. So maybe I can put it on the page itself, but I can't actually put it on the methods. That would be annoying if I can't put it on the methods, because that's where I want to put it. Method attributes. Custom action filter attribute on razor page model get method. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Thanks, person from a year ago. Yep, exactly. You want your custom filter to be on that. Right there, page model before the public on get. Page filters can only be applied to a page model and not to the individual handler methods. In addition, you need an page filter when you're working with razor page. Action filter only applies to the action filters. Okay, so we're gonna have to do it that way, which means during page handler select, but before the method executes. Yeah, okay. So we're going to want that one. And then inside of this. Yeah, okay. So they're pointing out to us again that the page model does implement these interfaces, so we can override them directly on this if we want to. But that's not really what we want to do. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of annoying. Okay, so that means if we want to do this, we need to be an iPage filter. Okay, so that would mean that this iPage filter. Don't do anything for those ones. We don't do them. And then this, just like this, would need to do basically the same thing. So let's try this. For now, we're just going to copy pasta this down here, look at what's identical, and see if we can't rip it out. Ooh, are we not going to have the arguments? Context dot handler arguments instead of action arguments. Okay, there we go. Get user ID was a page. Hang on. Let's pass it the HTTP context then instead. So let's pull that as a parameter. HTTP context. That's the one we want instead. So we don't need that one. Remove that parameter. Which means on that one, it passed in context.http context, which is fine. And then down in this one, it asked for HTTP context and wired up correctly. Perfect. Okay, so now these are basically the same. So actually, can I get away with this instead of using the actual action filter? I think that's going to be a little bit nicer. Yeah, I agree, Rubik's. They really should do it that way, or something. And I love that. So I have a little heating pad that I use to keep my drinks warm. Very nice. So my drink did not get cold. Let's see. So that's a do nothing, that's a do nothing, this is a do something. That's my helper method, it goes on the bottom. Helper method hides in the bottom. On action execute, on page handler selected, executed, nope, we're not doing those. So this is the on action executing, and that one's the on page handler executing. These are extra methods that we're going to hide down below. We're not using. So again, on action executed. So these are basically identical. We need to make them identical. And the way we're going to do that is this. I am going to extract this as a method. This method is going to be called foo, as are all of our methods when we create them. Crimson Green, you have this same mug? Oh, geez, I wonder where you got it. It is a very nice DevChatter mug. See? It's got a little DevChattery laptop. DevChatter. And our derpy dinosaur saying, I'm coding. It's a very, very nice mug. I like it. Alright, so this is not correct. So this context. Let's extract out what we actually need from here. So let's pull this. We'll replace all three occurrences of the HTTP context. Like that. Where else is this used? To get the handler arguments that we are going to extract out as a parameter that we are going to call arguments. There we go. Where else is context used in here? Context.result. Ooh. Let's do this. We're not going to pull the whole thing in here. Context.http context.response. Okay, so we're going to do this. This is going to be a method that's I'm going to call it isAuthorized. Is-authorizes. Okay, so isAuthorized. If isAuthorized, then return isAuthorized returns Boolean, which means that this is a return true, and this is return false. There we go. So now on this, I just need to do the same thing up here. Except now, instead of saying that, I'm going to say, whoops, I did not mean to pass in context like that. That is not a parameter on here anymore. Goodbye, context. You don't get passed in. Okay, so is authorized. So and handler arguments isn't the one they use here. It is action arguments. So action arguments versus handler arguments. Luckily, I happen to know they're the same type. They're a dictionary of string object arguments. So there we go. So that is cleaned up now. Is authorized. These are nothing. That's a thing. So actually, let's put this right behind our code up here. That's going to be right there. So that's what it's going to do. It's get user ID. Is authorized. That's just going to check both of those types. We now have a page filter that works and an action filter. So this should be on the channel controller, channel authorized, because it's not an attribute class. Attribute maybe? That might be what it is. Channel authorized. Yeah, I think that might be what's required. And then on edit, we have this. Okay. Which means this needs to be on the page model, we said. And we said this is the channel authorized attribute, and the parameter name is ID. Okay. Cross your fingers, everyone. This is our big ta-da moment that we're hoping works, but we'll see what actually happens. So we're going to drop a breakpoint in there. Let's go to the channels controller as well, because we're going to drop a breakpoint here. We're going to drop a breakpoint there, because we want to check and see whether or not we have access to the stuff we are supposed to have access to. Sadly, I'm not running Postman right now. I don't feel like opening it. So we're just going to do the get checks instead of the post checks, but it's fine. The things we want to do, we want to drop a breakpoint there. We want to drop a breakpoint there. That is inside of our constructors for this. And actually, let's toss one in as authorized, because why not? We'll see where this happens. Run the code, cross our fingers, and watch what happens. First off, we fix whatever build error that was. Thanks, Visual Studio, for like breaking the hype right before we started. Yeah, those are not things anymore. Which actually, that's a good point. I need to come down here and I need to remove this stuff. We don't have that policy right there anymore. That's not a thing. We don't have that anymore either. We got rid of those. We don't have that policy on there. But we do want to force that you're logged into the to get into the My folder. That's still fine. We can still do that. Anything in there is going to require that you're logged in. Channel permission service is still there. Okay, good. And actually, those content accessors, I don't think we need anymore because I'm not sure. I don't think we're using them. I think we got rid of those, so we'll cut those in a minute. All right, this is running. First thing, I am logged in. So API. Oh, I guess I must have hit it. That's funny. Okay, so we're in our on action executing. So yep, we are in the we're in the controller executing. It comes in here to check whether or not we are authorized, and it should come down here. Should return true. It does. It did the ID check. We saw that's the one it highlighted in our switch. Comes down here, and it's going to return, which should give us access. It does. We're in here. We've passed in our ID value, and this page should have loaded, I thought. Unless I hit back or something. There it is. And just to confirm, if I go to 3, which we established we don't have access to, so we're in here. We get our user ID. Our value is 3. So you can come through. It's going to say we don't have it. Return false. So we don't hit the channel action, and we instead get our unauthorized. So that's what we're expecting to have. So let's come over here, and we're going to say my channels, where this page we should be able to get to, which we can, but then when we click one of the edits, this should check the permissions. Ooh, it is. Hang on, it's working. So we come in here, and user ID, we have the value. The value should be 1. It is. And so now when it checks our permission, we're in here because we do have access to it. It's checking again. How many times is it going to check my authorization? Oh, twice. Because it loaded the page and then it did, I believe it did an extra request for the data a second time. I think is what actually happened there. But when I check 3, the page check should actually lock us out. So let's have a look. So we got our user ID. The value is 3. We're going to come down here. We're going to do a check on this value. It says we don't have access. So let's hit a 5. We didn't hit it. We got our unauthorized. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're not loading, like we don't actually want it to change this content to be unauthorized here. We want to actually see if we can get a real unauthorized page. So we want to actually get that response when we do it. Like this is fine for the API controller to respond with this, but when you're navigating to a page, you want it to actually see that. And this one really is a page, so we should do that one correctly. But either way, I like it. I mentioned there was code we needed to get rid of in the startup, and that is this. We are not using these anymore. So I will get rid of those. We don't need them inside of our startup because we're not using them anywhere. So this is switch to action filter and page filter authorization. Real users read JSON. Yeah, exactly. All of our users read JSON. What are you talking about? Users are used to that. They totally don't watch for auth pages. Okay, so what did we do in here? Inside of our channel authorize, we went ahead and we set the... We actually set the response code to a 401 unauthorized. Action filter, show 401 page. Yeah, exactly. I want to go to the custom errors page. How do I get it to do that? Thank you, random person. That's an authorized attribute. Oh, actually, that might be the way to do it. Action result. Doesn't work the same with that's a good question. Maybe what's method not allowed? 405? Weird. Alright, we're gonna do unauthorized for now. We'll leave it as that. Let me try this and see what we get. Space equals that. Can I set it to this? It's read only. Okay. Huh. Well then, I don't have a good way around that right now, so we're gonna go ahead and discard that change. We'll leave it like that. Makes you wonder, what does it do if I don't mess with the result? I wonder what we actually get back. Let's take a quick look, see what happens. Why not? Okay. Yep, I have access to that. And I go to 3. I do not have access to this one. It comes back with unauthorized. That's because I didn't do it on this one. Derp, herp-a-derp, herp, herp-a-derp-a-derp. There we go. Let's try that one last time. Couple of things to mention while people are here. If you are new here and you are not yet following the channel, I highly recommend that you go ahead and hit that follow button to make sure you get notified when we go live here on the stream, as that is the best way to catch our streams when they're live. Alright, so the page loads, and this one, when we do an unauthorized... What the... Uh-oh. Apparently you do need that to actually block it. Just changing the status code won't do it. you gotta actually set the value so that it doesn't bother checking. You need to set the result to a specific kind of result. Okay, in that case, let me stop that. Discard the change. Yep, reload the page. Go back over here. Wonder if there is a kind of result we could do. New. New unauthorized result. Actually, that might do it. That might be the one we were looking for. Hang on. I think setting the result might be what prevents it from continuing on into the action when you're doing that. So if it already has a result, maybe it won't go in there, doesn't continue with the process. Okay. This one should work. It does. Set it to 3. Now we want it to fail. HTTP error 401. So we don't. So that is the error right there. We didn't have a custom page set up for a 401. New. What kind of result is this? Action result. SNet 403i action result. What's it called? Forbidden? Okay, maybe that's the one we need to get that. We'll try it. Let's see what we get. I'd like to get this right, because then we can just be like, yeah, here it is. Because there's special handling for 403 in the site already. Okay, this one should work fine. Okay. Access denied. There we go. Hey, there we go. Perfect. All right, that's the one we want. So let's go ahead and stop that. Because I knew we already had that one. Show 403 instead of 401. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So we're not like the most secure thing yet. But either way, that does sort of work. So, a couple of things I want to mention. I already told everybody to make sure you hit that follow button if you haven't already. Also, this website that we're working on is open source. It's all out on GitHub at github.com/devchatter. That's why you keep seeing me pull up GitHub Desktop here, committing our changes and pushing them out to that website. You have access to see any of the code that is out there that we do here on the stream, and you are welcome to send us pull requests, as we actually reviewed one of those at the beginning of this stream today. We are requesting some changes to that one before it get in, but overall, we think it's actually a good change, and I'm going to be talking with the dev that did that over in our Discord. Speaking of Discord, if you are not in our Discord, you should consider joining it, as it is a great place to communicate with me and the other DevChatter viewers. And if you want to, talk about tech stuff, talk about coding, that sort of thing, outside of the streams, that is the best place to do it. There's usually someone there most of the time, but I mean, not like always, but usually there's a good number of people over there. What the heck? What? There's something screwy going on in my computer. That's weird. I'm gonna need to fix that. Anyway, so yes, check out our Discord. If you are someone that watches our videos live, awesome, welcome, we love it. If you are not, and you're someone that watches the recordings, which you could be watching here on the Twitch videos section, or you could be someone watching over on our YouTube channel. Either way, thank you, for future person. I hope everything's really nice in the future. I'm obviously not there yet. Well, I guess as long as I'm still alive, I'm still there in the future, even though this recording is the past me. So I don't really exist anymore, because that's the future me that's there now. Either way, time is confusing, including time zones, and it's weird. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. I'm going to post my Twitter in there. And yes, Sunjin, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for the day, as I do have family stuff that I want to get to. I can hear that my son is awake from his nap, which he didn't really want to go down for anyway. We're going to be coding again on Monday, though, so I will see everyone then. Keep in mind, we stream on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays here. I want to make sure I thank our moderators, Crimson Green, Stool Penner. I know Greendolf was here, and so was S&B. I want to thank these wonderful people for following us today, and Fishing Dev, and Rubix for the resubs, and Voight, and I'll say Shirak. Welcome to the DevChatter crew, and a big thanks to Greendolf for gifting the subs to those two as well. Have a great weekend, everyone. Please don't do anything that I wouldn't do. Don't use programming languages that you don't like, for example. And I hope that everybody has a fantastic and fun time. We will see you on Monday. Keep in mind that on Mondays, Tuesdays, we stream at 2 p.m. On Thursdays, we stream at 12 p.m. And on Saturdays, we stream at 1 p.m. Those times are all in Eastern Time if you want them in UTC. They are, what are they? So that's 1900, 1700, and 1800 UTC, in that order, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We usually stream for 2 to 3 hours, depending on what we're planning on doing that day. It's mostly C#, ASP.NET, good amount of JavaScript. We do some web dev, some game dev, lots of various things. We're glad you all hung out today. I should check and see if there is someone to raid. If there is, then I'd love it if you stuck around for that. But I don't see any of the people I follow online right now. So we'll just wrap this one up here and tell you all to have a great one. And we'll see you on Monday. Later.